Hi guys, so today we're going to have a look at tolerance notation. Okay, so for example, in technical, so woodworking, a piece of wood to make a box is acceptable if it's 100 plus or minus 5 millimeters. Okay, and then it's asking, are these following lengths acceptable? Okay, so what this means is you've got, let's draw kind of a number line. And let's say I've got 100 millimeters on my scale. Now I could, add on 5 millimeters to that, giving me 105, and that would be acceptable in that range. But as soon as it gets bigger, it's not acceptable, okay? Or that's like a plus, okay? So it's like I'm doing two calculations. I'm going to do 100 add on 5 to get my maximum acceptable value. And I've also got a minus, so I'm going to do 100 and take away 5 to get my minimum acceptable value of 95. Okay? So in this range, my lengths are acceptable, and if it's out with that range, then it's not acceptable. Okay? So is 90 millimeters acceptable? No, that's down there somewhere. Nope. And if you wanted to write a little justification, you would say 90 is less than 95. Okay? What about 97? Okay, yes, 97 is great. Okay, because it's between 95 and 105. Okay, so that's how we can write that kind of mathematically. 95 is less than 97, so 97 is sitting there, and you can see that 95 is less than it, and 105 is more than it. Okay, so it's in that acceptable range. 104.9, well, that's only just in there. Oops. So yes, that is acceptable. 104.9, and then it's between 95 and 105. Okay, 105.1, that's only just out. Okay, but it's still out, so no, not acceptable, because 105.1 is bigger than 105. Okay, now this last one's kind of a wee trick. Okay, it's in centimeters, not millimeters. Okay, and 1.1 centimeters, we convert it to millimeters by multiplying it by 10, because there's 10 millimeters in every centimeter, so that's 110 millimeters. So no, that's kind of up there somewhere. Okay, so no, 110 is bigger than 105. Okay, so quite straightforward to see whether something's in the acceptable range of values or not. So we're doing kind of two calculations. You add on your number to get the maximum, take away your number to get the minimum, and it's acceptable if it's in between the two. Okay, well, it's maybe a little bit trickier, but not much trickier. Okay, is writing the tolerance notation. Okay, so let's have a look at two little scenarios. So in the first one, a cake's judged to be cooked correctly if it's been cooked for a minimum of 30 minutes and a maximum of 36 minutes. And they want you to write this range of times in tolerance notation. Okay, so let's draw another little picture. Okay, so I've got my minimum acceptable value is 30 minutes and my maximum value is 36. Now let's just have a little look up here. So it's like I had my 100 in the middle, and then I wanted to add and subtract the same amount. Okay, so in order to do that here, I'm going to need to find that middle value, and I'm going to see what do I add on to that to get 36, and what do I take away from that to get 30. Okay, so bang in the middle. I think we can, well, you can probably do it in your head straight away, but let's have a think. So the total distance here, I'm going to show you two ways to do this. Oops, excuse me, slipped the pen. That total distance, the difference between the two, is 6. Okay, so each of these is going to be 3 and 3. Okay, so it's like I'm splitting that difference of 6 into 2, 3 and 3. 6 divided into 2 gives me 3. So this middle value is 30 add 3, which is 33. So I can write this as 33, and then I would add on 3 to get my 36, and I would take away 3 to get my 30. And it's in minutes, so let's make sure we've got the units written in there. Okay, so I've got my middle value, 33, okay, and I'm adding on 3 and I'm taking away 3. And I kind of did that by drawing a picture and working out what was in the middle, what's the total difference, and then I split it, and then kind of using a bit of common sense there. Okay, there's another method you can use, okay, that I'm going to show you that's more of kind of a formula approach. Okay, so in science, an experiment will only work if the chemical you're using is heated between 84 and 87 degrees C. Write this range of temperatures in tolerance notation. So there's a kind of formula to find the middle. Okay, so the formula for the middle, and it's actually really easy. It's just the average or mean of the two numbers. Okay, so don't worry if you've never seen this before. So you add the two numbers, and then you half your answer. Okay, so we're going to do, let's set out some properly. 84, add on 87. 4 at 7 is 11. 8 at 8 is 16, add on 1. 171. And then I'm going to half this. Okay, how many 2's going to 1? None. How many 2's in 17? Is going to be 8. 1 left over. How many 2's in 11? 5. And we're going to need a decimal place here. So I'm going to make that 0.0. There's 1 left over. How many 2's going to 10? 5. Okay, if I'm kind of assuming you do remember how to divide with a shed like this, but if you don't, we're going to have a video for that soon. Okay, so that's my middle name. Okay, so I've got 84, got 87, and that's my middle, 85.5. Okay, if you don't believe me, let's do this one. So see, for this one we had 30 minutes and 36 minutes. If you add them together, this one's easier to do in your head, you get 66, half it, 33, which is exactly what we got for the middle. Okay, so that's the formula approach, is to find the average. So my tolerance notation is going to be 85.5 plus or minus something. And now to work out what that something is, I'm just going to subtract. So I'm going to do 85.5, oops, subtract 84, and we can do that in our heads, okay? To get from 85.5 to 84, I need to take away 0.5 to get me to 85, then take away 1 more to get me to 84, that's 1.5. And let's just do a wee quick check. 85.5 add on 1.5. If I add the 0.5s together, I'm getting a whole unit. 85 plus 1 unit, 86, 1 more whole unit there, it's 87. Okay, so that is going to work out. And let's just put in my units, degrees C. Okay, so two approaches, kind of a common sense drawing a picture approach and a formula approach where you add the two numbers and then half your answer. Okay, great, that's how to do tolerance notation.